Good morning, happy people. It's a wonderful Tuesday morning, and I just want to say good morning to everybody. I am so blessed and so grateful to have all my amazing Facebook family right here. The love is deep. You guys really make me complete. Whenever I see you, I feel the love. I'm good to go for the day. And I want to thank you so much for being here, continuing to support the mission, which is to bring education to as many people as are willing to have it, and for us all to, basically elevate ourselves as a people. So, good morning to those of you who are here already. And yeah, let's talk. Before I go on to the reason why I'm here this morning, I just want to put a humble request before my Facebook family. In recent times, it's come to my attention that certain people are posting inappropriate commentary. I don't know whether they're images. I haven't seen any of them yet, unfortunately. The author of the platform doesn't get to see what's actually happening, which is why I'm here asking humbly that all the people that have been here from the conception of this platform and everything that it stands for, please help me save this platform. We have come too far. We've worked too hard to allow anybody who hasn't toiled or done anything to take over this platform. It's for both of our common goods. And I beseech you by the mercies of God to help me save this platform, please. So people are posting inappropriate commentary all over social media in my name. Please, if you're passing by and you see any inappropriate images, inappropriate commentary that you've watched this enough to know the sorts of things that Sika will talk about, what commentary is mine and what isn't, please bring it to my attention so I can let Facebook know and they can deal with this. If you don't, the page would be gone. And all the hard work that we've put in here will just be a distant memory. I can only ask of your humble opinion to help me here. Hello, Auntie Aisha. How are you doing? My big sister, how are you doing? Sister Marcia, how are you? That's the first request that I have for the day. Please help me. Because we're posting a lot of commentary and a lot of good content that people are supposed to see and enjoy. However, the videos are not going anywhere. And the only thing that I can think is that people are attacking the platform. Everything else is fine, but there's commentary. There's something that is happening to the algorithm in the back scenes that is meaning that this content is not getting where it needs to go. So please help me. Right. In the last 48 hours or so, a book has come out from our very own Yvonne Nelson. And in that book, there's a lot of deep revelations. Last night, I saw a lot of commentary on social media about it, everybody up in arms and sharing their opinion. But what has saddened me a little bit is that a lot of people have only taken a particular issue in isolation and not looking at the whole book in its totality. This whole big outburst about the musician Sarkodie being the one that was responsible for her pregnancy, which she had to get rid of. And that's what everybody is honing in on and focusing on. And we can't talk about Yvonne and how she is, her mental state, the position in which this beautiful young woman is in without looking at the person as a whole. And unfortunately, there's very few places that I've seen people actually digesting the book and understanding who Yvonne really is and why she is who she is. And most people are, why is she talking about this issue now? It happened back 13 years ago. Why is she bringing it up? She's just trying to ruin the musician, yada, yada, yada. If you don't understand where somebody is coming from, it's very difficult for you to then think that you've earned the right to talk about why they do the things that they do. It's always prudent that we take a step back and think about the person, who she is, and what's happened to her, and why she's the person that she is, and the way that she is, because we are all shaped by the foundations that we had growing up and the experiences that we've had going forth in our lives. And the truth of the matter is that many of us are broken people. We are just managing and packaging our brokenness in different ways. Some people have been able to package it good and well. So on the face of it, we look like we are all picture perfect. Other people, not so much. We all have cracks. We do. Now, as a girl who was raised by a very loving father, my heart really goes out to Yvonne. Because this is a woman who was lied to by her mom and then rejected by the person that was supposed to be her dad. So the man that raised Yvonne, the person that she came to see as her dad, is actually not her father. And the man didn't show her any love whatsoever. She said all kinds of horrific things about this man. And unfortunately, before she found out the truth and could do anything about it, this man has passed away. So there is pain on so many levels for this young woman. And if we don't look at that, it's difficult then to look at what then happened afterwards. On Sunday, I put out this video talking about paternity fraud, not knowing that all of this was going to come. It just kind of ties in very nicely with that topic. And if you haven't watched that video, it was put out just 2 days ago. Please go and watch it because it has a lot of nuggets in that video. Some of my sisters are doing things these days that I can't even have the strength to talk about. You know, sometimes we do things because we're trying to save face. And so we're very selfish in the decisions that we're making in the heat of things without thinking about the long-term ramifications for other people who are also caught up in this mess. Every time that you get pregnant and you have a child, it's not about you alone now. It's about you, it's about the father of the child, and it's about the child. And so just put yourself for 1 second in Yvonne's place. As a child, as a girl child for that matter. Girl children dote on their fathers so much, like the love that girls have for their dads. I don't even know how to describe that. Because I'm a spoilt brat when it comes to me and my dad, even at my age. And having that kind of love from the very beginning has been very important in shaping the sort of person that I've become. That's not to say I don't love my mom. I do. But there's just something about my dad and I that, hey, just don't go there. That's it. I remember when I was growing up, a lot of people would go home to tell my mom that my dad was having an affair because they saw my dad holding some young woman's hand. By this time, I was in university, but people didn't take the trouble to look at the face of the dad and the child, or the girl and the man, to see that there was a striking resemblance before people were up in arms telling my mom that my dad was having an affair. Very funny. But it happened. You see, and when a girl is made assured of a fatherly love, it helps in the sorts of choices that you then go out to make there later on in life. The choice of the men you date, the choice of the person that you are, and all of that. Marcia says human beings are just ready to criticize and not digest the book of Yvonne, being truthful about herself. With every issue there are 2 or 3 facets and not just the one. Exactly. Thank you so much, my darling. And that is the point that I'm here to make this morning. This is a broken, completely shattered young woman. The fact that she even has the courage to act all those movies that she does is beyond me. I don't know how she does it. She has tried to pick herself up, polish it up real good. But even with all of that, the emotional trauma, the emotional debris that woman has is unthinkable. Just think about it for a second. That you're a young girl that has been brought into this life. You're yearning so much for your dad to just love you and throw his arms around you. And this man is pushing you away at arm's length and wants absolutely nothing to do with you, and you grow up like that. And your mom is constantly pumping it up into your head that he is your dad, but he just doesn't like you. It doesn't even make any sense. What have I done that is so bad that my dad, my own father, wouldn't love me? And this was Yvonne for many years. So the question here is, did the man also know about the paternity issue? If he knew about it, why didn't he speak up about it? Is it that he was also lied to and eventually found out, but to save face, he kept quiet about it, but wanted to distance himself from the child? Like, there's so many things that we would never know, because the only other person who could tell us the truth is Yvonne's mom. Is she going to tell us her side of the story and why she did what she did? You know, sometimes when we women meet men and are so smitten by them, it's a split moment or a split second decision to make, but a lot of us don't make those decisions right because we are all caught up in the moment. But I've always said this to my sisters, and I can't remember how many videos I've done about this particular thing that I'm about to say. But I've always said to my sisters that whether you like it or not, whether it's fair or unfair, one truth is this. When you meet a man and you decide that you guys are going to exchange bodily fluids and have intercourse, you need to understand that every time that you do that, you're putting yourself at risk of becoming a mom. The man can tell you anything. He loves you to the moon and back. But when it comes down to it, you're the one that's going to bear the brunt of something that two people have done. One person just needs a bit of water and soap to wash up and dress up good and be gone. But the other person always gets to be the one that has to carry the evidence of everything that has transpired. And so if you know you're not ready for it, maybe make good decisions. Maybe abstinence is the way to do it. But hey, I also equally know that in this world that we live in these days, abstinence is not something that a lot of people want to even consider. So what can you do to protect yourself so that you don't put yourself in positions that just mean that your emotional well-being is degraded even further? What can you do? If you know you're not ready to have children, in today's world, there are things that you can do to ensure that it doesn't happen. So maybe you should be thinking about those things every single time that you do this, because every time you do that is one more opportunity for something to happen that you just might not have planned for. And in the heat of it, when it's all sweetening, that may be the last thing that comes to your mind, but it's God's honest truth from the core of my heart. Because when it comes down to it, He would walk away. And it will be you that is left having to pick up the pieces. So a lot of people are asking, why is this girl talking about this issue 13 years later? They've all moved on. The musician is married. She's probably got somebody too. So why now? The why now is because even 13 years later, the emotional debris that came from the agreement, from her very words, they agreed to get rid of it. Was it her decision? Was she coerced into it? Did she just have to go along with it? Because already she's growing up in a home where she doesn't even have a dad that loves her anyway. So where is she going? On the face of it, they both were not in a position to father or mother a child. Right? So this happened. Now, you've both made the decision that you're not ready to be parents, and so you're going to get rid. Fine. But in the getting rid, one person just turns a blind eye and it's like, it's your mess. You go figure it out. You think that doesn't hurt? Do you actually know what actually goes into a person deciding that they have a seed, something that is growing up inside of them, and for them to then decide that they don't want to have it anymore and they're having a termination? People think having an abortion is some simple, easy, exciting thing. It's a very difficult decision to be made for somebody to have a human being growing inside of them and decide that they can't keep it and they have to get rid. And then there's the whole guilt factor after it's all been done. And if you don't have any support, nobody to hold your hand and make you not feel guilty about what you've done, that guilt, if you have a conscience, can send you down spirals that I don't even want to talk about today. And so, yeah, on the face of it, it's easy for us to all point accusing fingers at her and call her whatever names you want to call her, and that she wants publicity and she just wants to use the guy to sell a book, yada, yada. She has a brand of her own. Okay? But if you really want to have the honest conversations here, what hurts is that two people have done something. There's a consequence from our action, our common good action, something that we both enjoyed from. And yet it's suddenly become one person's responsibility to deal with it. Her very words were that after it was all said and done, he never even called to check up on me, to figure out whether she made it or not, how she was doing, what had happened, the pain that she was going through. He didn't care. And that's what hurt. That's what hurt. And anybody who's been put in that kind of position, who is bold enough to say it, will tell you that to get pregnant with somebody and for it to now become your sole responsibility at that age. How old was Yvonne at that time? How old was she? And to have to face all that by herself when the other person that enjoyed this whole thing with her gets to fade into the sunset as if nothing happened. My darlings, this is why I'm always saying, I'm not saying don't have sex. It's up to you. You do you. But if that's what you're choosing to do, please know that if you're getting, the pudding and the swinging pendulums from somebody, just know that when the cookie crumbles, you're going to be the one that's left standing in the dark, in the rain by yourself, having to figure it out. It takes somebody loving you and having the boldness to stick their necks out to say, hey, yes, we messed up, but yes, it was me. We done it. There are not very many people who do that. And so, darling, maybe sometimes it's just better off that you either zip it up and keep it closed until you're sure that you're either prepared to deal with the ramifications of opening by yourself, or that you're sure that when the cookie crumbles, the other fella is going to be there by your side. You decide. Or that you're not going to put anything to chance and you're going to make sure that you don't fall pregnant. Your choice. So to me, from where I'm sitting, and this is plainly my opinion, you have yours. You think whatever you want to think. The story is out there. We're all talking about it. But for me, personally, I don't think this is an issue of wanting to seek no kind of, empathy from anybody publicly or anything. If she wants to sell a book, she can sell a book. Hey, so what? But the deeper thing is that the woman is hurt. She felt aggrieved that two people have done something and one person has just left me to my own devices to go figure it out. And that hurt. Many years on, it still hurts. And that's what she wants the world to know about. It's her story. Nobody can muzzle anybody into wanting to tell a story or not tell a story. We need to get these things straight. And if she hadn't put it out there, you and I would not be here today talking about this issue, would we? Because we wouldn't know. We'll be none the wiser. I actually applaud her for her boldness to talk about this issue. And there are people out there, and I don't believe her, and this is not true. He can't do this, he can't do that. Do you think Yvonne is that stupid and so gullible to be so bold to lie about somebody being responsible for something that they both done? You think she doesn't know the legal implications of what she was doing when she decided to do it? Honey, have you watched any of her movies? For her to do this, oh yeah, she must have sought legal advice in order to be putting up such a revelation. Because she must know that if it's not true, this guy is going to come for her so bad. So for her to decide to talk about this issue means that she knows what she's talking about. That's my opinion. And until there's anything else out there to say that it's not true with evidence, that's what I'm going with. At the end of the day, there were only two people there, her and him. The two of them know the truth. She's chosen to speak her truth. Who am I to disapprove or not believe or blame her? Why is she talking about it? Why is she talking about it? You have your story. It's a choice. If you don't want to talk about your story, don't talk about it. But she does, and she has. It's why we're all here. Now, for me, it's always about the lessons. What can we learn from this whole thing? And the first one is what I've just said. If you're not ready to bear the brunt alone for something that two people are going to enjoy and one person's going to be left to figure it out, honey, keep it closed. And if you can't keep it closed and you're still choosing to have the cookie, then please make sure that you're prepared to deal with the ramifications by yourself, or that it doesn't even happen at all. So you protect yourself from allowing it to happen. For me as well, the other issue is this, is that why would somebody be so interested to want to enjoy you, have a feel of your body and everything that comes with it, and then want to walk away and not want anybody to know about the things that you guys did? When a man is really proud to have you in their life, they would show you off to the world. They want their friends, their loved ones, their family, everybody and their dog to know that Sika is dating X and we're together and we're an item and the whole world knows about it. Any man who doesn't want to do this, my darling, there's a big question mark. And you need to start thinking and deciding, maybe I should run away from this because, it smells of something. But you see, somebody like my sister, who has already not experienced motherly love, would then go out there yearning to have this love from a man, from somebody else. That's just humans. We want to have something. We will go through every length to get it. And unfortunately, a lot of the times it's not from the best of places. If your father won't show you love and you become an older teenager or a young adult, of course, going into the arms of a man is where you would feel that you could get the same kind of loving that your father should have given you, of course, without the intimacy part. But a lot of the times it's not the case. And so a decision to not love your child has a lot of deeper meanings, because it then goes on into the sorts of people that your daughter then ends up picking as the one to yearn or receive this kind of loving for. And so parents, please, I say this so many times and I mean every word that I say that. If you're not ready to be a mom, if you're not ready to be a dad, please just don't have children. Because you're the ones that are bringing or creating all these broken men and women the good people have to then get with and try to figure out. It's not fair. You don't just have a child just to satisfy something. And then after you've had the child, then now it's a problem for other people to come and pick up no pieces. So please, having a child is a big thing. A lot of people just don't get it. You're just satisfying a need. You're just satisfying society and doing things that look picture perfect because it makes society look at you in some kind of light. It's why you're having children. If you're not prepared to be a good parent, please just don't have the children. Don't do it. Because you create too many issues. Nancy says, that story sounds like my late brother who committed suicide without getting the love from his birth mother without knowing who the real father was, because his infant father rejected the brother. Yeah, it's a very serious thing that children go through. It's the same thing that sons feel when they don't feel the love of a mother. Children just need both parents, period. That's just it, plain and simple. Parents, your children need you, both of you. And to then have a dad who is absent and not even love you on top of that. There's so many questions, like, why did Yvonne's mom lie? Is it because the person who's the real father of the daughter is somebody that she doesn't want everybody to know about because she's not proud of him? Like, I just don't understand why she would do that. But these are some of the effects of paternity fraud that a lot of people think is funny and are doing without thinking about the deeper long-term implications of your actions. It's not okay to get pregnant for somebody and then pawn it off to somebody else and think that nobody will find out about it. It's not right. You don't do that. Parental love is the very first love a child should receive. Thank you so much, Justin. When I was younger, I used to wish for a father figure, but when I found my supposed dad, I wished I never knew him. You see? And so when people don't experience this basic love when it is required, because it forms the person that you become, this is how you learn to love other people. And so if you don't have that, it shapes who you become. That's why I'm saying that there's so many broken people walking around, all dressed up with makeup, tuxedos, and everything. But deep inside, there's no camera to see what's going on the inside of people. So it's not enough to just look at the outward without knowing what is happening inside of a person. It hurts, man. It hurts real bad. And my heart really goes out to Yvonne. It really does. As a girl who has been doted on and loved so much by my dad and all the male figures that I have in my life, and for her not to have that from the one person who is supposed to love you more than sense, it's hard. Thank you so much, Benedicta. It's hard. You're going to pack your hair like mine? Yeah, I just woke up this morning and this is what came out. It's hard. It hurts so bad. I really wish I knew Yvonne and I could put my hands around her right now. I'm telling you, it hurts. And it hurts real bad. I've seen so many people around me. I know so many of my friends in that exact position that Yvonne is in. And I can tell you, based on what I see, dealing with my friends, the pain that they're enduring, the tears that they cry so many years on. Some of them are even grandparents and they're still yearning for fatherly love. At that age, it hurts. So Yvonne is actually doing a good job trying to package all that pain and still go on into industry and act movies and all of that. She tries. I can't wait to read your book, Benedicta. I really can't. So sometimes when we do things as parents, we need to think about our children long and hard. Because it's not just about you saving face. It's just not about so-called public shame. But it's all about what is going to happen to me and my children with this decision that I'm making to commit paternity fraud. Because that's what it is. It's fraudulent. And over here in the West, it's criminal that you go to jail for it. And on top of that, if there are any child support payments that you've made one person pay or the person who was responsible not pay, you pay it all back too. Women can have fines of $100,000 plus because of one lie that they told that comes to the fore. Sister Omekua, how are you doing, darling? I love you so much. Please, if you're not ready to do what parents are supposed to do, sacrifice, love your children, be there for them, provide for them, please just don't bother having the children. It's not some kind of a goal-winning or prize award-winning thing that you just do because everybody says it will look good on you. It's not a dress that you can wear. It's nothing fashionable. I'm so passionate about this because I have seen a lot of people whose decisions and whole lives have been ruined just because they haven't had the love that they want from the people that are supposed to be loving them. And so it's not enough for us to just sit out here and be blaming her and calling her names. People are laughing and making fun of her. It's not funny. There's nothing funny about it, honestly. There's nothing funny about this whole situation. And there are no victors and there are no happy stories to tell about this book. Nothing. Because nobody wins. That's the truth. The mother has lost a daughter who now resents the hell out of her for one lie that she told. And kept it up and kept lying to this woman. Yeah. Yvonne is a complete wreck. Because the persons that were supposed to give her that love from the very beginning, they never gave her. And they robbed her of her real dad. And then the person who was put as a stooge to be the real dad also didn't love her anyway. So rejection times 2. And then lied to by her mom. So that's 3. Now she's been made to resent the hell out of somebody who never did anything. Because he wasn't the dad. And if he didn't want to love her, he didn't want to love her. It's not by force. Those calling her names are not even going to read the book. Exactly. Oh, and Sarkodie, he can't do this. And I know him and he can't do that. What do you know about him? When he was playing with his swinging pendulum, were you there? You weren't there. So who are you to judge anybody? Sometimes in our community, it's very easy for us to point accusing fingers without really understanding the core of what is happening. It takes people who are broken to act in a specific way. And if you don't understand that, then just don't say nothing. Because to be out there and just be pointing accusing fingers and blaming her, she's just looking for fame and clout and popularity. She's trying to ride on him to sell her book. That's just silly. Since you lack that love, any small fake love from someone means a lot to you. And then what happens? They hurt you so bad. And you keep asking yourself, what at all is wrong with me? Oh, Benedicta, God richly bless you, honey. I have seen an almost 50-year-old man recently cry like a child because his mom never loved him. This guy was bawling like a young kid, like a baby, because all he wanted was love from his mom. So this issue is a bigger issue. Let's not mess about with this issue. And I can't wait to come back again. Tonight I'm going to come back. In a good 12 hours time, I'm going to come back and continue this conversation because there's so much I have to say. And I can't put it all into words right now. Most of us Africans, the lies and the societal pressure is making us live fake lifestyles. Today, if you go and ask Yvonne's mom if she could turn back the hands of time, she would tell you that she wishes that she had spoken her truth back then. Once and for all, she wishes that she had just told her daughter the truth and told the whole world the truth once and for all. At least now. No matter how bad it is. Even if it was a drug addict. I'm just saying. It is better than the pain that she is now having to live. Is this girl ever going to forgive her mom for lying and robbing her of the only thing that any girl child wants to have in her life? I have it, so I know what it's like. And when your father loves you so much and he lays down his life for you and he will do just about anything for you. Yeah. When he needs you, all he has to do is to cough and you go running. A lot of parents don't understand how some people love their parents and other people don't. Yeah, it's because if you sow it, you reap it. If you never changed the diapers, if you were never there to do the night feeds, you never did the homework, you never did the school drop-off and pickups and the games and the parties and the hugs and kisses, honey, don't come expecting anything when you're old and frail and you now need help. Now you remember you had some children. It doesn't work like that. It just does not work like that. You can't reap where you haven't sown. This is biblical. So if you haven't sown the seed, you don't reap it. And if you haven't shown your children love from the beginning, please don't be disappointed or shocked or surprised when later on in life there is so much disunity, no harmony, and discord in your home because you started it. Which is why I'm saying, if you're not prepared to be a parent, just don't be one. And the majority of the judgment is always on the women. Blessing, I love you, honey. How are you doing? You don't reap where you haven't sown. If you haven't done it, you don't get it. It's as simple as that. Why am I so up in arms and hell-bent on, like I hear my dad and I'm giggling and I'm so excited? Because he was there. He did the night feeds, the nappy changing, feeding him. My dad has a scar on his finger till today. I bit that thing. I bit it, eating, and it's still there till today. And so when you've sown all of these, pay school fees, I have parents that sold their clothes to put me through school. And make me the person that I am today. Yeah, of course, if they need anything. If it means I have to go hungry for a year, I will do it smiling because these people gave up everything for me. You don't get it, do you? You can never understand somebody's pain until you've been there. I'm telling you, I saw an almost 50-year-old man call me and just didn't say anything and just burst out crying. Yeah, I've seen that recently. And I'm still dealing with it. And he's not the only one. There's so many people like that, both men and women. They're the angry ones that we end up marrying. Oh, and he doesn't understand anything. He's always upset. He's always mad. He's always angry. Yeah. Have you taken the trouble to actually understand where this person is coming from? Because, in our community, we're always just looking on the face of things, superficial, without digging deep to really understand what is happening to a person and why they're the people that they are. Most of the people who call themselves fathers, they don't even deserve to live, honestly. If you're not ready to be a father that steps up and does the night feeds, the nappies, the bathing, the going to school, the homework, and actually sow into your child's life, you have no business having them. You don't. And in the heat of things, when the love making is there and the excitement about being with a woman is there, it's the last thing that crosses a lot of people's mind. But these are the deeper ramifications of what you create if you don't think deeply about the actions. This is why I'm always telling my sisters, think about it before you open, because it's a big, long journey. Once the pregnancy happens, it's a lifetime. It's a lifetime. I have family members that have taken their lives, very close ones. And this is a very emotional topic for me because some of these people are not here because they yearned for the same love that Yvonne did and never got. And so it went into their life, the choices they made, the decisions they made about the men and or women that they chose, and just made more problems. And the whole thing, when you dig deep, and it all comes back to the parenting that they had, the love that they lacked. So loving your children, reassuring them and making them feel, Dad, good morning, how are you doing? Is one of the most important things that you can do for your children. Trust me, I'm coming back for part 2 when I'm done with work. I am coming back because we're not done talking about this issue. And we really must really do justice to this, because the lessons to be learned from this, I'm just covered in goosebumps just thinking about it. But please, if you have any love for your children, please let them know you love them. Don't just treat them as pieces of objects that are just there. Actually make them feel that you love them and you care about them. And if you're watching me right now and you're close to your son or your daughter, put your arms around them and let them know that you love them. Dad, I'll be back just after 5 o'clock. We have to talk about this issue again. And if you missed the video, I will send you the link to it. I really would, because I want us all to watch this. And I can't wait to see the commentary. God richly bless you. Have a fabulous Tuesday. And just think about some of the things that we've talked about so far. But there's so much more to say. And I'll be back at 5 to continue part 2 of the conversation. If you know Yvonne, this is the time to put your arms around that girl and tell her that you love her and support her through this difficult phase of her life. And not to sit there and point accusing fingers when you have no clue whatsoever about what this young woman is enduring right now. Thank you so much. And I love you so much. I speak with so much anger and passion because there's so much that needs to be picked out of this. Criticism and pointing fingers is just not it. Mr. .com, how are you doing? God bless you. I love you so much, and I'll be back. Mwah. Bye-bye.